Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. It being Christmas, I hope you guys get the opportunity or had gotten the opportunity to spend some time with your families and loved ones and cherish this beautiful holiday that we celebrate every single year that I think truly has the ability to bring out the most in people. Kindness, sense of giving, of wanting to make someone feel happy, caring about people. I really think that Christmas is a great time of year, great day, great holiday. It just makes me feel happier. You know, the togetherness, the wanting to buy somebody a good gift. Having to put some thought into it, making it count, really having to put in the effort to actually get someone something that they would actually appreciate and like. I recently just had a Secret Santa event, and my Secret Santa, good friend of mine, got me a really, really cool gift. It was a statue of a U.S. Army paratrooper. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. This is so cool. I could not believe it. It's totally me. If you don't know too much about me, I'm a huge history guy. I really like history, and I really like World War II history. That is such a cool time period to study for me, or was a cool time to study for me, cool period of time to study for me. Cool period to like learn stuff about. There's lots of movies and TV shows based upon that as well that are really fun to watch. I just find the era of World War II so fascinating, and for this guy to get me that, it was just like, dude, you nailed it right on the head. Like, this is an incredible gift. I love it so much. But it's that time of year, and this is the day where you'll be opening your gifts, watching people open the gifts that you got them, hoping that they like what you get. Sometimes, it could be tough to get somebody a gift. But when you get the right one, right, when you nail it just right, it is one of the better things that you could feel on that day. When you got them a gift that's like, oh yeah, they really like my gift. Like that's a good feeling. You gotta chase those good feelings. And one thing that I think that Christmas has really, I guess we have really capitalized on the feeling of Christmas is Christmas movies. We haven't made a new Christmas movie like in a long time that is like worthy of like the ones that are the classics. I'm talking like the It's a Wonderful Life, A Christmas Story, Elf, Christmas Vacation. Like we haven't had a one recently that has like met that statute of excellence when it comes to Christmas movies. There's only been like one or two that I think that have come out in like the past like maybe 5 years that have gone close to that. It would be Netflix's Christmas Chronicles, the first one with Kurt Russell, and then maybe Daddy's Home 2, starring Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Those have been the ones that have like come like close to achieving that pinnacle of excellence when it comes to Christmas movies. But like the Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, classic. The Santa Claus, classic. Santa Claus 2, even pretty good. 3, I've seen like maybe one time, and it was just okay. It wasn't like my favorite one ever, and it was honestly kind of forgettable in my opinion. Never saw the Santa Claus's show on Disney Plus, but they made 2 seasons, so it might be decent. I've never seen it though. But like we do Christmas movies pretty well in this country. Like it's pretty awesome. We nail the feel too. Like they all have like that warm, cozy, family-oriented feel that, I think is what makes Christmas so special and why we love it so much, because like the combination of the cold weather outside, you wanting to be inside, you wanting to have family over, the meaning of the season, right? The birth of Jesus Christ, Christianity, togetherness, love. It all like comes together in like this one beautiful celebration that we do on Christmas Day. Having excellent food, all your relatives come over, throwing a Christmas movie, Christmas music, like we talked about um, last episode. When it comes to like the actual meaning of Christmas, like the birth of Christ, and just overall festivities of Christmas, it really is like truly like the best time of year, the happiest time of year too. And like I said earlier, Merry Christmas, right? But not only is it Merry Christmas, but this is the final episode of the year, by the way. The next episode won't come out until January 1st, 2026. Isn't that wild to think about? Like, as I was getting ready to record this, I looked at the calendar and I saw like, oh whoa, the next episode is on New Year's Day, which is going to be, quite interesting how that's going to come out. But it will come out. But like, still, honestly, like this is the last one of the year. I mean, it always feels like a big shocker whenever I record a final episode of the calendar year. It's always a bizarre feeling. It's like, whoa, another year down. You almost like you don't want to think about it, because it's just like, whoa, like where did the year go? How did this happen? I mean, just like in a blink of an eye, and it's gone. It's wild to think about. I always kind of like forget that, it always just kind of slips your mind. Like when you're getting ready for Christmas, like the year is literally almost over. Like one more weekend, boom, it's over, right? It's just like comes at you fast. It really does. And you just got to brace for it, and it's something that is, well deserved, I think, right? Like Christmas today is a well deserved day. It's a deserved day because we did all the preparation, we built up to it, we got together with friends and family, celebrated, had good food. But then for me, like once today is over, it's over. And then it's time to gear up for next year. Like immediately, like once today strikes midnight, it's like, okay, let's put away the lights. Let's take them all down. Let's pack it all up, put it all away. I mean, we're not going to actually do that, but like you kind of get into that mindset, I mean, we have a real tree, for instance. We have a real tree, right? Full on nature's gift to us. I didn't buy a fake tree, have no interest in getting a fake tree, right? We have a real tree. And man, the tree is smelling strong, very ripe of pine, which I'm a big fan of pine. But I mean, you can smell it everywhere. It's like, uh-oh, this tree might be getting a little old. I think that we're going to have to take this one out sooner than we probably have in the past with the trees that we have gotten for Christmas. So this tree could be leaving the building very quickly, which I'm okay with. I love Christmas, like I said, but once it's over for me, it's over. There is no more that I need to see once it is over. I mean, heck, today's a beautiful day, right? Spend it with your families, spend it with your loved ones. I hope you got everybody a gift. I hope you got some good gifts as well, right? Let's be honest. We all love receiving gifts. I mean, at least I do, right? I got some pretty awesome gifts, I'm not going to lie, from this year's Christmas. And I cherish every one of them. And I love the people that got me the gifts. I truly do. For my family, friends, I mean, I love all of my gifts so much. I just want to say thank you for all of them. And I really do appreciate it. You guys mean a lot to my life. You make me very happy and loved. And I just love these and cherish these moments forever. I really, really do. But we must move on, right? Christmas is over. Today's the day. Now we're looking forward onto what's coming. And before we do that, we as I guess a country, were blessed a few days ago, maybe more, about a week ago, to watch something that I did not know that I needed, but I loved it so much. Netflix had a fight had many fights, but the main event fight was between Jake Paul and actual professional boxer, and really good boxer, by the way, Anthony Joshua, who I'm sure you guys have heard before if you guys are boxing fans or sports fans in general, that he's a boxer and a very well-known and very good boxer. And he fought Jake Paul. And Jake Paul is a boxer. Not a very good boxer, in my opinion, but he's a very popular boxer. He has put together a lot of fights, made a lot of money. I respect that hustle. I respect that chase of the American dream, that chase of the money that he has earned, rightfully so, right? He hasn't, cheated. I don't think so. I don't think he might have rigged a few matches here and there. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just saying might have, because that always seems something that you can kind of bring up when you talk about fights or boxing, is rigging a match. That is a possibility, a very low possibility, but a possibility nonetheless. He's been a promoter of the sport in a way where it's like we've never seen before. He promotes it, not being, in my opinion, or in a lot of people's opinion, a very good boxer, but like I said, a popular boxer. If you know Jake Paul, he was once a YouTube kid back with Team 10, and just made stupid videos, him and his brother Logan Paul, just kind of running YouTube and being like the main people on YouTube for a good while. Back in the 20 teens and early or late 2010s, I would say. They are very mainly popular between like 2013 and 2020 is when I would say like they were like the most popular at the time when they were doing YouTube. Now they do a lot of podcasting, and Jake and Logan both box. I think one of them, I want to say Logan, is also part of the WWE. Very successful guys, and also very, very hateable guys, in my opinion, which is, by the way, what they want. They want to be talked about nonetheless. They want to be in the spotlight, good or bad. In this case, it's a mix of good and bad. There's people out there, I truly believe, that are big Jake Paul fans. There has to be some people that actually like what Jake Paul does. I question their sanity, but there has to be some people out there that actually admire the guy. I'm not one of those people. I don't really care for Jake Paul all that much. I think he's kind of annoying. I really do think that he's kind of annoying, I'll be honest. And I am also a sports fan. I like sports. I like the competition in sports. I like what sports brings out of people. I like what sports has to give to people. Discipline, failure, leading to success, right? I understand that. I love that about sports. In a way, Jake Paul, my bad, does not seem to really give himself the opportunity to fail in sport because of who he picks to who he wants to fight. He has picked a lot of people in favor of himself. Old Mike Tyson, he picked, I want to say Tyron Woodley is one of them. Anderson Silva, another, all really good boxers in their day, in their prime, but can't really fight now. Old, beat up, not as quick, not as strong. Jake Paul is in more better shape physically than those guys. Now, technique-wise, they're probably better still, technique-wise, but sheer speed and power is gone, has evaded them, and they don't possess that no more. So it's harder for boxers to perform against Jake Paul, at least the boxers that Jake Paul picks to fight against Jake Paul. It's like almost impossible. Unfair, some could say. And we've seen this. We've talked about this. A lot of people have talked about this. Who is he going to fight? Is he going to fight in a legit boxer? Is he going to fight a legit competition? Is he going to fight somebody competent that could actually probably beat him? So far, before this fight, there's been, I think, one other fighter that actually beat him, and that was Tommy Fury, who is a boxer. And now he's not a big heavyweight boxer. He's more on the side of Jake Paul, and maybe not the best technique or strength or power. Nonetheless, a professional boxer that actually does have boxing talent and can box, and wound up beating Jake Paul. Not by knockout, but by final decision by the judges. So he has a loss up until this point, I believe, when he fought Joshua. One loss. Every other match, every other fight that he has, orchestrated, it's been in his favor, predominantly. For the most part, he's been the favorite. He's been the leading promoter, which he should be. I mean, he's an entertainer. He has that ability. He can draw attention. He can put eyes on himself, right? I'll give him that. He's very talented in that way. Doesn't matter. I'm not a fan. I don't like his smugness, his attitude, him thinking that he's the best ever. I like that for him, but I don't like that. There's a difference, right? As Jake Paul, right, you have to be this way. You have to. You have to be your best ally. You have to be the one ally. Even though you might have some allies, you got to be your number one ally. And he is that. And he does it very well. He is somebody who's going to put himself forward, promote himself, say that he's the one to beat, as he should, right? You can't tell me that you would be, happy that Jake Paul would be out there doubting himself. Like that would be the dumbest thing to cheer for. If Jake Paul was actually out there saying, I can't beat any of these guys. I can't beat them all. And him still promoting the fight, that's so stupid. Might as well not even fight. You're not going to get people to watch you fight by being the downer, right? So in a way, his cockiness, his high promotion of himself, it being annoying to me, is great for him. And that's amazing. He's able to put eyes on him, put people in seats to watch his fights. He does it all, and he does it so tremendously well. I have to give him credit for that. That's something that is very rare in the sport of boxing. No one promotes himself like the way that Jake Paul does. Let's just be honest. If you go back in time and you look back at previous fights, big high ticket fights that came out in 2015, 2010, right? Their promotion style was not nearly as good as Jake Paul is promoting himself. It's not even close, right? He's using the internet. He's using apps. He's using YouTube, Netflix. He's using everything that he can possibly think of to promote his fights, and they are working so well that it draws in so many people. He made, win or lose with this fight, he was going to make at least $92 million just for this fight, just for showing up, right? So he made so much money. That payday was incredible for Jake Paul, no matter what happened, right? But that was all before the fight. And let me tell you, like I said, I didn't know that I wanted to see this, but I'm happy that I did. And not in the way that most people did see it, or a lot of people did see it, I should say. The fight actually was on Netflix. Like I said, I was not able to watch it live. Heck, I even forgot about it, I'll be honest, until I went home, went on some social media and saw that it actually did happen. I'm like, oh shoot, this happened? What the heck? Um, so I saw the highlights for this fight, and most of the highlights were really bad. You can tell that, first of all, Anthony Joshua is huge, like crazy taller than Jake Paul. That should not have been even a fight that they would even consider, because weight class is huge in boxing and in combat sports. And that was just completely ignored in this one. I mean, when you saw Anthony Joshua face up against Jake Paul, you're like, oh my God, this guy lost already. Like, he knows he's going to lose. I mean, he has to promote himself to hell and back, but like, we all know he's losing, right? Like, look how big Joshua is. Look how much stronger Joshua is to Jake Paul. Jake Paul looked kind of weak. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Jake Paul did not look very shredded. He did not look very big. He looked like kind of like just out of shape. You know, regular dude, just kind of out of shape. You know, at least in my opinion, he looked, you know, not so great. And Joshua was like freaking huge, ripped, like jacked. He looked insane, and you could tell that he was pissed. Like, he wanted to punch the living daylights out of Jake Paul. Like, for real. Like, his promotion up into it, his interview before the fight, like, he really wanted to hit this kid and smack him around. And, you know, rightfully so, right? Like, you get someone like Jake Paul, right, who, I guess in his own way, I mean, obviously, in his own eyes, he views himself as the hero of boxing, right? But we don't see him like that. We don't see him as a hero. We see him as a villain. And he probably knows that. We all think of him as a villain and are like, yeah, I mean, this guy kind of sucks. We don't really like him, but he likes himself. I mean, he's gonna be rooting for himself, as he should. But, you know, I think a lot of people, the majority of the people out there, view Jake Paul as villain and not hero. So like, when we see like how angry and pissed off Anthony Joshua is, I see that and I'm like, oh yeah, I get you, bro. Like, I would be mad at this dude too. You know, trying to take over your sport, essentially kind of ruin the sport in a way. I mean, let's be honest, the purity of the sport, you know, of what it actually is, has been ruined in the past. This might just be the final tipping point of it being like totally ruined from the core, like rotten to the core. Like, boxing is totally a rotten sport now, if you think about it. Like, I mean, it was getting pretty bad. It was never, it hadn't been good in a long time. But now I guess you can kind of say like it's now rotten to the core. I mean, you know, it just in the way it's promotion, the money, who fights who, you know, the stakes, you know, it being kind of like a cash grab for some people. Obviously, some people not trying as hard. The sport is kind of rotten, and it's tremendously sad that it is so far gone from what it used to be back in the day. But like I said, like, Joshua really did not want anything to do with Jake Paul. He was pissed off at Jake Paul. And the highlights, like I said, I was watching the highlights. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. I mean, you could tell Jake Paul was so outmatched. He was just diving for Joshua's ankles, diving down, you know, evading punches, just could not really make too much solid contact with Joshua. Kept diving down, dodging, and just being a coward. And then right at the end, Anthony Joshua knocked this dude to the ground, breaking 2 parts of his jaw. And I mean, like, it was some of the most satisfying entertainment pieces I've ever seen in my life. It was so cool, so awesome to see Anthony Joshua lay out Jake Paul like that. I mean, I never thought I needed to see anything like that in my life, right? Like I said, I was not going to watch this. I forgot that it was coming out. I saw it all over social media. You know, clips, memes. All the memes of this dude are so funny, so creative. Every meme I've seen, right, has been in favor of Anthony Joshua over Jake Paul. No, there are like no zero, and I mean absolutely zero, like memes that are in favor of Jake Paul. They can't be, because he got laid out, destroyed, annihilated, terminated by Anthony Joshua in this fight. It was so beautiful to see. I wish that there was a better shot of it, because when it happens, when he lays out and just full on just boom right on the jaw, like, it is so amazing. And just like the sheer power that this guy was able to put on this poor kid's jaw would have been in other places would have been a assault, life endangerment. I don't know, some stupid, right? Like, it was incredible to watch how much power that guy Anthony Joshua had in his punches, and just completely obliterated Jake Paul's jaw. Just broke that jaw in two pieces. It was just wild to see. I was like, oh yes, yes. That guy needed to be punched in the face exactly that hard, if maybe even harder. I saw it, and I was like, dude, imagine though, like, that was a great knockout. But imagine, like, the hit was a little bit further up, like more on like the cheek area. It would have totally demolished his face. Oh man, that punch had so much power to it. Like, I'm surprised the jaw didn't break clean off. I'm surprised that he was able to kind of like talk and open his mouth after that happening. Like, that was a violent, gruesome punch that I loved so much. I can't lie to you, I loved it. I love seeing that. A lot of people did. I was talking to my friends, at my gift exchange, my Secret Santa party, and we were just like so happy that happened. That was something that not just me, but a lot of people needed to see that happen. A lot of us did. Let's be honest. Sometimes we need to see something happen to people that we don't like. Not like something that's going to cause them like death, that's going to kill them, right? But like in this case, when a person is viewed, a public figure is viewed as not liked too much in the public eye, in how we view them, talk a lot of smack, talk themselves up, super cocky, not really earned anything, it's all kind of been given to them, and we see them meet adversity and failure. Oh boy. And in this case, a knockout by Anthony Joshua, dude, it was incredible. It was something that we all needed to see. I know that you guys enjoyed it, because I really did too. I mean, it was something that I was like, I wonder if he's going to knock him out, because I didn't see anything up until these highlights. I just saw the YouTube video on my phone, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua highlights. It was like a minute and a half long. I mean, it was a super short video from ESPN. I was like, is this even going to be worth my time? Did the fight go the distance? Did it complete? Was it rigged? Did it seem like the person didn't win who actually won? Like, what was this? And I was like, it was pretty crap up until the very end, but I'm like, dude, once that end hits, you're like, whoa, that was cool. That was really cool. I'm not a huge boxing guy, not a huge combat sports guy, but if I was to pick the one that I would watch over and over, it would be boxing. I just kind of like it more. I don't know what it is, but like seeing that happen, seeing Jake Paul just get annihilated, that was cool. That was entertainment. I was entertained by that. It was the very last 10 seconds of the video, but I was entertained with that last bit of that video. Like, I could not imagine. I'll be honest with you, actually watching that entire fight, it seemed like it was terrible up until the end. And I didn't waste my time doing that. I wasted my time watching Tyson and Paul. That one sucked real bad. That one, he robbed America. Jake Paul robbed America with that one. This one, Anthony Joshua, a Brit, right? An Englander, saved America. I never would have thought a day in my life that I would say that sentence, that a Brit saved America. Anthony Joshua, an American, right? I'm an American. I thank you for beating up that American man. As an American, I want to personally thank you for beating up Jake Paul, an American. Normally, I'm a huge patriot, so I will root for the states no matter what. In this sense, I am a traitor to my country. I did not want Jake Paul to win that fight. I would have not wanted Jake Paul to win that fight at all. I would have rooted for Joshua, like furiously rooted for Joshua if I watched that fight live. And in this case, when it comes to this fight, Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, I am a traitor. I would have rooted for Joshua from the beginning. And thank you, Anthony Joshua. Thank you. You did my country a service. You beat my countrymen, but you did our country a service that we have been waiting for a very long time, and we finally got it. Thank you, Anthony Joshua. I appreciate it so much. And I hope I never have to say that again. I hope I never have to betray my country like that again. But in this case, I am okay with it. I'm actually grateful for that. All right, let's get to the meat of the episode. Why you guys are really here. Well, maybe not, but like the big thing that's been happening. Well, not the big thing, but like the big movie that's out right now, Avatar: Fire and Ash. I went to go see it in IMAX 3D. The only movies that I see in IMAX 3D are Avatar movies, because those are the only movies that are put in IMAX 3D nowadays. Just Avatar, Way of Water, and now Fire and Ash. And I will be reviewing Fire and Ash. Avatar: Fire and Ash is a really, really good movie. I really enjoyed almost everything about this movie. The story, the characters, the heart, the action, obviously, the science fiction, the extensive world building, what happens in the movie. I really like this movie quite a bit. I say I would like it more than The Way of Water. Not as much as the first one, but I do like it more than The Way of Water. I will say this, though, and this is going to maybe sound a bit strange, but Avatar: Fire and Ash, and this could potentially be a spoiler, so I'm just going to say it. Spoilers ahead. Avatar: Fire and Ash feels like Avatar: The Way of Water Part 2. I'm not going to lie. Because I'm pretty sure it happens right after The Way of Water. It feels like it does. It happens like exactly after Avatar: The Way of Water. And it just kind of has a feel of it being like The Way of Water Part 2 in a way. The water is still a major part in the movie. It's titled Fire and Ash. But I honestly think that it could have used a lot more fire and ash. And it might have been a little mistitled in a way. The movie is really awesome. It's an awesome movie, but it does, in some parts, I think, lack a bit of fire and ash. I'm not going to lie. I love the introduction of the Fire Nation in this movie. I think it's a really cool concept on how essentially this tribe of the Na'vi don't really believe in the other views of the forest Na'vi or the beach Na'vi. They don't really follow the same customs. They don't have totally the same beliefs. They don't really seem to gel with each other when it comes to their views on of the world of Pandora and all that. And that is something that's in the movie predominantly in the first half of the movie. And then I would say the second half detours from that and becomes more Way of Water Part 2. Like, the seeds have been planted for the Fire Nation in Avatar and on Pandora with the Fire Nation Na'vi. And for a while, the fire and ash kind of goes away. And I'm like, wait a minute, what are we doing? We're in the water again? We're at the beach? What the heck's going on? Like, it's cool. I really enjoy it. But at the same time, I'm like, where's my Fire Nation? Like, I thought this was going to be a movie about, defeating the Fire Nation. I don't know. I just feel like it's a really awesome movie. And I gave it a pretty high rating just because of its pure entertainment and pure fun and pure coolness. But the movie itself does not feel like Avatar 3. It feels like Avatar 2 Part 2. If that makes any sense. When you think about it, and I had to take some time to think about it, I really did enjoy it, though. I had a lot of fun watching this damn movie. It looks incredible. It looks really, really awesome. Like, the CGI effects that this guy, James Cameron, uses, the technology that they use for this movie, in this particular movie. And I know it's kind of weird, but, like, you can tell, like, it got way better than Avatar: The Way of Water. First of all, these movies are shot back to back. They were shot at the same exact time, way back in the day. And they're just being put out right now. And just like the advancements in those 2 years, right? Because Way of Water came out in 2023. This movie came out in 2025. It's just like you can totally see like the jump in the technological area of this movie. Like, dang, like this looks way better than before. Like, even the 3D stuff in this is really cool. I think that they got to the point now with 3D where it looks really, really good. And I would not be opposed to more movies that put in the effort that Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Way of Water did to make the 3D this good. Because it's really good 3D. It's really, really good. Like, it's not jarring. It's not over the top. My eyes adjust pretty quickly. I'm not going to lie. It might be because of the new technology in the glasses. I don't know. But, like, my eyes adjusted fairly quickly to this new movie in 3D. It looked really good. And you just got to give him props to James Cameron. Because, like, this guy continues to make these movies look so freaking good. Now, don't get me wrong. These movies ended filming a long time ago. So he's had a lot of time to work on these 2 movies in particular in the way of effects. To my knowledge, they have not begun anything for Avatar 4 if it were to come out. So this could be just the culmination of this guy having so much damn time to make these 2 movies look spectacular, right? It just being the product of that, just having so much time to refine everything, because they truly do look so refined and so perfect that it's like, whoa, how can this movie look this good? It looks just too good. How can anyone freaking like look at this and be like, this looks terrible, this looks cheap? Like, no way, dude. It looks freaking incredible from start to finish. You're like, whoa, I can't believe what I'm seeing. It's just too good. I can't. How do they? None of this is filmed in real life. This is not real. The people, the humans are real, right? Um, there's a few humans in the movie that are real people. They're not all Navi, so it's like they're real, but everything else around them is totally fake and not there. It's like, how do they do this? You just kind of have to. You kind of question it. You're like, this is unbelievable how they did this. Now to the actual story bits. Like I said previously, I like the Fire Nation. I like them a lot. I like Jake Sully, Natiri, Quaritch, who's the Colonel. Like, they really go in on making the Colonel in this movie. I like that a lot. I love the Colonel in 1 and 2. I love him even more in this one because they actually give him more Colonel things to do, and it's like, this guy's the best, dude. I love Quaritch in these movies, and I love Jake Sully. Jake Sully is always so consistent with his character. He's just truly the guy, the family man, the father, the husband. It's like, this guy's just the rock of the family. He's the best. I love seeing Sam Worthington in that role because he plays it so well. He plays it really, really good. So does Zoe Saldana as Natiri. Sigourney Weaver plays a good part in this as Kiri, one of the Sully kids. The other kids are pretty cool in the movie. They do a lot. There's a lot more, stakes with the actual children of Jake Sully in this movie, I think, than even more so in Way of Water. There's a lot of stuff to do with Spider, who is the human living amongst the Sully clan on the planet Pandora. There's something that does happen to Spider that is kind of wild, but I liked it because it just kind of broadens the sci-fi-ness. And it's like, whoa, how did this even happen? This is so cool. Imagine if they went further with this, like, whoa, then we got real problems. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen if they were to do 4 and 5, something like that. But that was a really cool thing to happen. And you probably heard this before in the other movies, 1 and 2, the mention of Awa, the Pandora god, or should I say goddess, mother of Pandora, is mentioned quite a bit in these movies. There is a moment in this movie where they are trying to seek Awa's guidance, seek what Awa wants, right? They want to see Awa. They want to know what we are there for, what the Na'vi are there for, what is our purpose. What Awa needs to guide the Na'vi. And there is a part where that is revealed, and it is freaking awesome when it is revealed. It's like, whoa, like, I could not believe it. I was like, holy hell, this is freaking insane. This is game changing with this Awa reveal. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh. So that was an incredible moment in this movie. And like I said, there's a lot of incredible moments, a lot of beautiful things that happen, a lot of action that's so cool. My only gripes are, it does feel like Way of Water Part 2 and not enough Fire and Ash, despite it being called Fire and Ash. I really think that, when they shot these two movies back to back, they kind of made it so like they made it like it was like one big grand movie at first, but they had to break it up into two movies, and then they're like, okay, we'll do Way of Water and then Fire and Ash. But when you hear that title and you see the promotion, you're like, oh, this is all about the Fire Nation Na'vi. Not as much as humans. No. You would think, but no. It's kind of not, which is kind of a shame. I'm not going to lie. That was like my biggest gripes of the movie. Still really tremendous movie. Like a movie that I think that a lot of people will watch and see. watch and like actually, and really enjoy a lot of it. There are some themes and some things that do happen that you're like, oh, I've seen that before. Oh, I've seen this before. Oh, that happened in the first and the second movie. Okay, we're doing this again. But it's not like it's not, you know, part of the DNA of these movies. That's what these movies are. Like, I don't necessarily know what exactly people are hoping to see differently with these types of movies. You know what these movies are. You know the conflict of these movies. What exactly are you wanting to see from them? If you're so tired of watching Na'vi on dragons fighting the U.S. Army soldiers in helicopters, like, what exactly are you aiming to see then? Like, I would like to maybe more of the Fire Nation versus the the mountain Na'vi and the beach Na'vi. Then yeah, I would agree with you on that. I would like to see more of that. But besides that, it's the same concept. It's the same thing that's going to happen. You know, flying Na'vi fighting over the skies. You know, it's just gonna that's essentially the same thing. You know, so I don't understand that gripe. I mean, I kind of do, but I kind of don't, because it's like you're in this universe. You know the conflict that's happening between the Na'vi, the Sully family, and the U.S. Army. So it's like there's not much more that they can do differently. You know the mission of the U.S. Army. You know the mission of the Na'vi. You know the mission of the Fire Nation. I will say the movie's pretty predictable. It's a predictable movie, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It's a very enjoyable movie, a very pleasing movie, a very I guess you can say what's the term? Feel good movie, kind of, in a way. It makes you feel pretty good at the end, at least for me. It's not necessarily labeled. I wouldn't label it a feel good movie, but it makes you feel good. If that makes any sense. So yeah, Avatar, Fire and Ash review. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really, really good. I enjoy it more than Fire and Ash. I do think that it is something that it is a really good movie that I think a lot of people should watch and see on the big screen, because it is quite the movie going experience. It is a movie that when you see it, it's like, dude, like, this is meant for these big screens. It really is. So, final verdict on Avatar, Fire and Ash. Score 9.2 out of 10. And I can confirm, guys, that in this movie, Fire and Ash, actually before it, in the trailers, and I will spoil this because it is now online, the teaser for Avengers Doomsday was 100% real. Chris Evans is returning to play Steve Rogers as Captain America in Avengers Doomsday. Trailer is now online. It's not a spoiler. It's out there. You have seen it. I've seen it. This is so terrible. I can't believe they're doing this. And they're so confident in doing this. And by the way, dude, when I saw this in real life, in the IMAX screen that I went to go see Avatar, Fire and Ash, I mean, like, I was so, like, disappointed, and so was my theater. I'm not even kidding you, dude. There was, like, okay, so you see, like, him riding a motorcycle to some house, getting off his motorcycle, attending to his baby, dusting off his, his old costume. At that part when he's, like, getting his costume, and you can tell, oh, this is Captain America. I swear to God, in the theater, there was 2 singular claps, like clap, clap, and that was it. Nobody else said anything after that. Nobody was excited. No one was, like, intrigued. Nobody was any way, shape, or form excited for this movie. And I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. That was kind of awkward. Shame on you, Marvel, for giving me such an awkward moment, you know? And I think that just goes to show you that the culture really does not care about Marvel superheroes anymore. I think that we're past it, guys. I think that these characters, and we've accepted them in our world, in our lifetime, we have accepted that. They were given a story. And we accepted that story. We love that story for the most part. A lot of us like that story. And now, let's just look at the tape. Let's look at what's happened, right? They fired the previous directors and writers that were going to originally make these Avengers movies, the Kang Dynasty, and then I believe the second one was going to be Secret Wars, right? So they changed the title for the first one from the Kang Dynasty to Doomsday. Now it's called Avengers Doomsday. They've also retconned Kang the Conqueror. It's now Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom, and an entirely new first or fifth Avengers movie is coming out, right? They they got rid of the directors, got rid of the writers, and who did they bring back to do this? The Russo brothers. And they did Avengers Endgame and Infinity War and Winter Soldier and crafted the MCU Phase 3 and Phase 4, you can kind of say, right? They essentially crafted the ending of Avengers Phase 3, right? Built it on their own, right? They ended that story. And now they brought them back to ruin the story that they ended by bringing back Captain America. Let's be honest, people. We all like Steve Rogers as Captain America. I loved him as Captain America. We all did. But his time is over. It's done. I don't want to see this guy as Captain America anymore. I don't. I'm sorry, but I think we're done. You have Sam Wilson. You have other characters. You are bringing the X-Men in. We do not need Steve Rogers back as Captain America. You are literally taking and confirming that we don't have anything for this. We need to bring back Steve Rogers. That's essentially what you're saying with this promotion, this trailer right here. Not only with that one, but also bringing back Robert Downey Jr. into your universe. We're not doing this. I'm not doing this anymore, right? The Captain America, for me, died in Infinity War, or an Endgame, sorry. He grew old and died. That's it. How are you going to bring him back when he's young? How is that going to work? I don't care enough to want to watch and see what kind of crap you came up with to bring him back. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I haven't cared for a long time, and I really don't care now. I do not give a damn. Sorry for cursing, but I don't care. I can't believe this. I didn't think that this was true. I did not think that this was actually real. That this could happen. But I was hoping that this was fake. I was hoping. Now, it wasn't confirmed, but I was like, please be fake. Please be AI. Don't be real. But it is. And they were so confident in putting a timer on that, getting people ready, and no one in my theater cared. I was like, this is such a dud. This is a huge dud. I was like, whoa. I could not believe how no one cared about that. Actually, I could believe, yeah. They're all like me. We don't care anymore. We never did. Marvel's dead. It's so dead. And people thinking like, oh, it's going to make a lot of money. It won't. Because the movie's not going to be good. It won't be a good movie. How could you possibly think that a movie like this is going to be good? How? I don't... What does Endgame not count anymore? Does Infinity War not count? Like, what the heck are we doing? No, I don't think so. That's not how it works. I'm sorry, but you don't understand characters. You don't understand how people connect with characters. You don't get it. You don't get it. You truly don't. If you understood it, you would not have brought him back. You already did one sin. You brought back Downey Jr. Now you did another one. You brought back Chris Evans. No way. Nah, can't do it. Won't do it. You can't disrespect me like that. No way, no how. I will not accept that. I will not accept it. It's not for me. I don't care. And I don't want to have to see how you retcon your other movies to bring this guy back. I don't want to see you do that. You literally brought the Russo brothers back to tear down what they had built before. You were having them essentially kill their story. Shame on you. Shame on you. I will not be watching that. Now to more positive news. While watching, right before right before Fire and Ash came out, there was a prologue for the Odyssey. Christopher Nolan's new movie, The Odyssey. It looks incredible. It looks tremendous. It looks like I need to see this now. Now. Or at least when it comes out, day one IMAX. Right in there. Right in that bitch. Sorry for cursing. But I was so pumped watching this prologue. And I was like, holy crap. This looks unbelievable. I cannot wait to see this movie. I truly cannot wait. I need this movie right now. And then, a few days ago, they released the trailer, official trailer. That was incredible too. I'm like, dude, I'm going to explode. This excitement is killing me. I cannot wait to see this movie. It looks amazing. I mean, the tension in this trailer, the tension in the prologue, the theme of the movie, the way it looks, the way it's shot. Oh, the characters, the actors in it. I'm like, oh, dude, I need to see this right now. I've been dying to see a movie like this in a long time, like a swords and sandals movie like this on the big screen. Remember when we used to have like movies like Gladiator and Troy, 300, Kingdom of Heaven, movies like that. And like they were so cool, they were so good, that had awesome fight scenes and set pieces, and just sets in general looked awesome. It looks like we're getting another movie like that with this movie, The Odyssey, and I just cannot wait to see this, dude. I mean, I told you the trailer was going to come out in December. I told you, if you go back episodes ago, I was like talking about my hype for this movie. And I was telling you, look at Christopher Nolan's track record. Look at when he released the first trailer for Dunkirk, when he released it for Tenet, when he released it for Oppenheimer. It's always in December. So I said, you could pretty much bet, mark my words, that a trailer or something for this movie would come out in December. And boom, we got a trailer and we got a prologue. Can't wait. Cannot wait to see this movie, dude. This to me, so far, looking at 2026 so far, what's coming out, this is number one. This is truly number one. All right, before I get out of here, real quick, this made some news a couple days ago, and I wanted to just give my thoughts on it because it is something that I think 100% needed to happen, had to happen, and thank God that it did. So, if you watched the Game Awards at all, you might have heard that this game called Expedition 33 won Game of the Year. Never played it. Honestly, looked pretty bad. So, I was not going to play it either way, but nonetheless, it won Game of the Year. So, I guess a lot of people liked it, a lot of people played it. It had 2 awards stripped from it from the Indie Game Awards, and they were for Best Debut and Indie Game of the Year. Those awards were stripped from them because of their usage of AI in their game. Good. We're not going to do this. I have told you guys from the very, very beginning, I am anti-AI. Full-on anti-AI. I don't support it. I don't want to see it. I hate it. This is like the one thing that I really hate is AI. Get it out. I don't want to see anything of AI. I really don't. For them to strip away their awards for those categories is incredible and should be really putting other games on notice. Because let's be honest, right? Building a game is probably one of the easier mediums to put AI in. One of the easiest ones to put in is probably a video game. Maybe not building the game, but making the game look the way it looks. Skins, calling cards, cosmetics crap. Ooh, boy. Yeah, no, this is not happening. So thank God for the Indie Awards for stripping that game of those awards, because I do not support that at all. That should be outlawed. Like I said, I'm anti-AI, and I think a lot of people are also on my side here. I will not let AI win. I will not let AI live in my world. I want it out. I just want it out. Get rid of it. If I had the power, I would ban all AI. I would ban it. Because we cannot be trusted with AI. We just can't. So we have to ban it. And I think it would be better for humanity if we banned it. Like, it's totally bad. It's bad. Every way you look at it, it's bad. Every single thing about AI is bad. It makes you lazy. It lies to you, deceives you. I mean, like, it's just bad. It's lazy. It's non-human. Get it out. For real, like, this is something that should not be toyed with, used as a tool. Not everybody should have this. I mean, most of you have it on your phone. I suggest you delete it. Get rid of it. Take it off. It should be banned, for real. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today, people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Add Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. New episodes drop every Thursday morning. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, and do all that good stuff. And yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you guys next year.